The evening sun casts long shadows across the living room as Mark sips his coffee, scrolling through messages on his phone. His wife, Lisa, sits beside him, engrossed in a book. The tranquility of their Sunday morning is suddenly interrupted by a notification from their mutual friend, Jenna. Mark, Jenna's hosting a party tonight at her place. She's invited us all. You coming? The message pops up. Mark glances at Lisa, expecting her to be enthusiastic, but she shakes her head. I'd rather stay in tonight, she replies curtly, her eyes not meeting his. Mark frowns. Jenna rarely hosts gatherings, and Lisa's refusal is unusual. Is everything okay? Lisa sighs, closing her book. I'm just tired. It's been a long week. Mark nods, trying to dismiss the concern. All right. Maybe next time. Later that afternoon, Mark arrives at Jenna's house. The scent of spiced cider and laughter fills the air. Friends mingle, glasses clink, and the atmosphere is vibrant. Mark spots Jenna near the kitchen, animatedly talking with a group. He waves and makes his way over. Mark! So glad you could come, Jenna exclaims, her smile wide. We're just getting started. As the night progresses, the house buzzes with energy. Mark enjoys catching up with old friends, sharing stories, and relishing the warmth of camaraderie. But amid the laughter, a sense of unease settles over him. He can't shake the feeling that something is off. Halfway through the evening, a few drinks in, one of their friends, Dave, who's visibly tipsy, stumbles towards Mark. His usual jovial demeanor is slightly blurred by his inebriation. Hey, Mark, Dave slurs slightly, leaning in closer. I heard about Lisa. Mark freezes, a chill running down his spine. What are you talking about? Dave chuckles awkwardly, swaying. Come on, man. Everyone knows about her affair. The room seems to spin as Mark grapples with the shock. His mind races, disbelief and anger clashing within him. What? Where did you hear that? Dave shrugs, a drunken smirk on his face. Doesn't matter. Just thought you should know. Mark's heart pounds. He feels betrayed, not just by Lisa, but by Dave, who was supposed to be a friend. He pushes past the stunned silence, excusing himself from the group and retreating to the balcony for air. The cool night breeze does little to calm his racing thoughts. Doubt gnaws at him. Has Lisa been unfaithful? The evidence is circumstantial, but Dave's words echo in his mind. Determined to find the truth, Mark pulls out his phone and starts searching for any sign of Lisa's betrayal. Hours pass in a blur of frantic investigation. Mark uncovers messages, meetings, and transactions that confirm his worst fears. The betrayal cuts deep, leaving him numb and furious. The life he thought he knew crumbles before his eyes. Confronting Lisa later that night is a nightmare. Her initial denial quickly turns to tears and broken excuses. Mark, please, it's not what you think, she pleads, but the damage is done. The trust is shattered beyond repair. Days turn into weeks as Mark meticulously plans his revenge. Every move is calculated, every step designed to dismantle the life Lisa built. He starts by exposing her lies to their friends, ensuring that Jenna and the rest see the true colors of their once trusted friend. Mark's actions are relentless. He hacks into her accounts, leaks incriminating information, and manipulates situations to isolate her. The once vibrant and respected Lisa becomes a pariah, her reputation in ruins. Mark watches with a mix of satisfaction and hollow emptiness as her world collapses. Finally, the divorce is finalized. The legal proceedings are swift, a mere formality after the emotional devastation. Mark feels a fleeting sense of victory, but the emptiness remains. He packs his belongings, leaving behind the remnants of a life tainted by betrayal. As he walks away from the remnants of his past, Mark vows never to look back. The pain of betrayal has transformed him, fueling a darkness that he can't yet understand. He never sees Lisa again, her presence erased from his life as he embarks on a path of vengeance that will consume him entirely. Tonight marks the beginning of his journey, a journey driven by hurt and anger, with the promise of more secrets and betrayals to unravel. The seeds of revenge are planted, and as the moonlight fades, Mark steps into the unknown, the intrigue of his main plot just beginning to unfold. Mark stands in the empty apartment, the silence deafening after the chaos of the divorce. Boxes are scattered around, remnants of a life now shattered. He feels a hollow emptiness, but beneath it lies a simmering rage that refuses to be quelled. Tonight, he decides, he begins to reclaim his power. He sits at the kitchen table, his laptop open before him. The soft glow of the screen illuminates his determined face. Mark knows that to destroy Lisa, he needs to be methodical. Emotional reactions won't suffice, he needs evidence, allies, and a plan. His phone buzzes with a message from Jenna. "Hey Mark, sorry you couldn't make it last night. Let's catch up soon." He stares at the screen, contemplating his next move. Jenna is a key player in his plan. She's trusted by many in their circle, including Lisa. Mark types a quick reply, "Sure, free this weekend. Let's talk." As he sends the message, his mind races. He recalls Dave's drunken confession and wonders who else might know. The thought of friends turning against Lisa fuels his determination. He needs to ensure that the truth about Lisa's betrayal spreads like wildfire. Later that evening, Mark meets Jenna at a quiet cafe. The ambience is warm, with soft jazz playing in the background. Jenna arrives, her smile genuine, but Mark can sense her underlying tension. "Thanks for meeting me, Jenna," Mark begins, his voice steady. "Of course, Mark. How are you holding up?" she asks, concern etched on her face. Mark takes a deep breath. "I need to talk to you about Lisa." Jenna's expression shifts to one of surprise and confusion. "What about her?" Mark leans in, lowering his voice. "I know about the affair. Dave mentioned it at the party." Jenna's eyes widen. "Mark, I had no idea. Are you okay?" "I'm not okay, Jenna. But I need your help. You're close to everyone, and I need to make sure this doesn't stay hidden." Jenna hesitates, then nods slowly. "I'll support you, Mark. Whatever you need." Feeling a surge of hope, Mark outlines his plan. He needs to gather concrete evidence, expose Lisa's deceit, and ensure that their mutual friends see her true colors. Jenna agrees to help, leveraging her connections to discreetly collect information. Over the next few days, Mark immerses himself in his mission. He revisits old messages, scrutinizes financial transactions, and uncovers hidden communications between Lisa and her lover. Each discovery strengthens his resolve, but also deepens the darkness creeping into his soul. One evening, Mark attends a small gathering at Tom's house, another mutual friend. The room buzzes with conversation, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. Mark scans the crowd, looking for Lisa and her potential allies. He spots her across the room, radiant and seemingly oblivious to the storm brewing around her. Mark approaches the bar, ordering a drink. As he sips his whiskey, he overhears snippets of conversations, each one a thread he can pull to unravel Lisa's facade. He spots Lisa chatting with Rebecca, a close friend, and decides to engage. "Hey, Lisa," Mark calls out, his voice calm but edged with tension. Lisa turns, her smile faltering slightly. "Mark, I didn't expect to see you here." He nods, taking a step closer. "Can we talk?" Lisa's eyes dart around, searching for an escape. "I'm really busy tonight, Mark. Maybe another time?" Mark's patience wears thin. "No, we need to talk now." Rebecca watches the interaction, sensing the underlying tension. "Is everything all right?" she asks, stepping in. Mark forces a smile. "Everything's fine. Just wanted to catch up." But his mind is elsewhere, focused on the task at hand. He knows he needs to plant seeds of doubt, make others see Lisa's true nature without directly confronting her. Subtlety is key. As the night progresses, Mark engages different friends in conversations, subtly dropping hints about Lisa's indiscretions. He shares vague anecdotes, careful not to reveal too much, allowing others to piece together the narrative. The effect is slow but noticeable. Whispers start to circulate, and the once solid support for Lisa begins to waver. Back at home, Mark reflects on the day's progress. Jenna has provided additional evidence, and with each piece, his revenge plan becomes more intricate. He realizes that to truly destroy Lisa, he needs to dismantle every aspect of her life, professionally and personally. The next morning, Mark receives a call from Jenna. "Mark, I found something. Lisa has been embezzling funds from her company. There's concrete proof." Mark feels a surge of triumph. This is the break he needed. With this information, he can expose her publicly, ensuring that her reputation is irreparably damaged. That evening, Mark confronts Lisa once more, this time armed with undeniable evidence. "We need to talk, Lisa. Now." Lisa looks at him, a mix of fear and defiance in her eyes. "What is this about, Mark?" Mark places the documents on the table between them. "I know everything. The affair, the embezzlement, it's all coming to light." Lisa's facade cracks, tears welling up. "You don't understand, Mark. It wasn't supposed to happen this way." Mark stands tall, his voice cold and unwavering. "It's too late for explanations. The truth is out, and there's nothing you can do to hide it." As the weight of the evidence sinks in, Lisa breaks down, realizing that her carefully constructed life is unraveling. Mark watches her crumble, feeling a mix of satisfaction and sorrow. He knows this is just the beginning, but for now, his revenge is taking shape. Days turn into weeks, and the fallout from Mark's revelation spreads. Friends distance themselves from Lisa, her professional reputation is destroyed, and the legal consequences of her actions become imminent. Mark remains vigilant, ensuring that every move he makes pushes her further into isolation. Yet, as he delves deeper into his quest for retribution, Mark begins to lose himself in the process. The lines between justice and vengeance blur, and he finds himself sinking into a darkness he never anticipated. The initial satisfaction of betrayal gives way to a consuming obsession, and the path he once saw as a means to an end becomes a labyrinth with no escape. In the quiet moments, Mark questions his actions, but the anger and hurt keep him tethered to his course. The intrigue of his main plot deepens, with new secrets and unexpected twists emerging. Friends reveal hidden agendas, alliances shift, and Mark realizes that the true battle has only just begun. As the moon rises, casting a pale light through his window, Mark sits alone, contemplating the consequences of his revenge. The journey ahead is fraught with uncertainty, but one thing is clear: the seeds of betrayal have blossomed into a tangled web of deceit and retribution, and there is no turning back. Mark wakes before dawn, the first light barely piercing the curtains of his new, sparse apartment. The air feels thick with anticipation, every second ticking away with purpose. Today is pivotal, his plan is moving into high gear, and there's no turning back now. He reviews his strategy one last time. Lisa's embezzlement has been exposed, her personal life dissected by whispers among friends. But to ensure her complete downfall, Mark needs to strike deeper. He knows that public opinion is fragile and can be swayed with the right information. His next target, Lisa's professional standing and her closest allies. Mark's phone buzzes with a reminder, a meeting with Alex, an old colleague who now holds a significant position in Lisa's company. Alex has always been loyal to Lisa, and if Mark can turn him, it will send a powerful message. Arriving at Alex's office, Mark is greeted by a receptionist who directs him to a sleek conference room. He takes a deep breath, steadying his nerves before knocking on the door. Alex's voice calls from inside. Mark steps into the room, where Alex sits behind a polished mahogany desk, papers neatly stacked before him. He offers a cordial smile, masking the tension brewing beneath. "Alex, thanks for meeting me on such short notice," Mark begins, extending his hand. Alex rises, shaking Mark's hand firmly. "Of course, Mark. What can I do for you?" Mark takes a seat, his eyes locking onto Alex's. "I wanted to discuss some concerns I have regarding recent activities within the company." Alex leans forward, intrigued. Go on. Mark slides a folder across the table. I've come across information that suggests financial irregularities tied directly to Lisa. It's something that needs immediate attention. Alex opens the folder, his expression shifting from curiosity to concern as he scans the documents. These are serious allegations. Do you have concrete evidence? Mark nods. Yes. Bank statements, emails, transaction records. Everything you need to verify the claims. Alex's eyes narrow as he processes the information. This is alarming. Why are you bringing this to me? Mark's voice hardens. Because I believe in integrity, Alex. And I know you do too. Lisa has gone too far, and it's time someone stopped her. Alex sits back, deep in thought. The weight of the evidence is undeniable, and the implications are far-reaching. I need to verify this information before taking any action. But if this is true, it could ruin her career and the company's reputation. Mark meets Alex's gaze steadily. I understand the gravity of the situation. That's why I'm here, to ensure you have everything you need to address this promptly. Alex closes the folder, a mix of determination and apprehension in his eyes. I'll handle this discreetly. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, Mark. As Mark leaves the office, a sense of accomplishment settles over him. Turning Alex against Lisa is a critical step in his plan, and it feels like the pieces are falling into place. But he knows better than to rest, there's still much to be done. Back at his apartment, Mark receives another message from Jenna, found more evidence. Let's meet. He quickly replies, arranging to meet her at their usual cafe. When Mark arrives, Jenna is already there, her expression serious. She slides a USB drive across the table. I went through Lisa's files. This contains emails and financial records that corroborate what you found. Mark plugs the USB into his laptop, reviewing the files meticulously. Each piece of evidence is damning, leaving no room for doubt. This is perfect, Jenna. With this, we can ensure that everyone knows the full extent of her betrayal. Jenna nods, her eyes reflecting the same determination. We need to act quickly. The more people who know, the harder it will be for her to recover. Mark contemplates their next move. Public exposure is risky, it could backfire if not handled correctly. Instead, he decides to leverage the information strategically, ensuring maximum impact with minimal collateral damage to himself. He drafts a series of anonymous tips to key figures within Lisa's professional and personal circles, providing just enough information to spark investigation without revealing his involvement. Each message is crafted to sow doubt and encourage others to take action independently. As the day progresses, Mark notices subtle shifts in his environment. Friends who were once staunchly supportive of Lisa begin to distance themselves, their trust eroding under the weight of the revelations. Social media buzzes with speculation, and the pressure on Lisa intensifies. Later that evening, Mark attends another gathering, this time at Tom's house. The atmosphere is tense, conversations laced with uncertainty. Mark scans the room, observing the changes his actions have wrought. He spots Lisa entering, her demeanor guarded, sensing the undercurrents of suspicion. Mark approaches her, a calculated calm in his stride. Lisa, can we talk? She glances at him, her eyes wary. What do you want, Mark? He offers a sympathetic smile. I know this is a difficult time for you. If you need support, I'm here. Lisa's facade falters, revealing a flicker of vulnerability. Support? After everything? Mark's expression softens, masking his true intentions. I understand you're going through a lot. Let me know if there's anything I can do. As he walks away, Mark feels a surge of control. By presenting himself as a sympathetic figure, he maintains the upper hand, keeping others from suspecting his true motives. His ability to manipulate the narrative is proving effective, and the web of deceit tightens around Lisa. The next day, Mark receives a call from Rebecca, Lisa's close friend. Mark, we need to talk. There are things you should know. Mark arranges to meet her at a secluded park bench. Rebecca arrives, looking distressed. "I heard about what's happening. It's all so sudden." Mark nods, feigning concern. "I just want to make sure you're okay. If there's anything I can do." Rebecca hesitates, then lowers her voice. "I've been hearing rumors too. It's not just the affair, there are whispers about her financial dealings. I don't know what to believe anymore." Mark smiles inwardly. "You don't have to figure it all out alone. We can help each other." Rebecca looks conflicted but seems to trust him. "I appreciate that, Mark. It's been really hard." As she leaves, Mark feels the momentum building. By gaining Rebecca's trust, he can further isolate Lisa, ensuring that she has no allies left. Each interaction is a calculated step, designed to dismantle her support system piece by piece. Back at home, Mark reflects on the progress he's made. The initial shock of betrayal has evolved into a meticulous campaign of retribution. He acknowledges the darkness creeping into his soul but pushes it aside, focusing on the mission at hand. Every move he makes is deliberate, every decision calculated to ensure Lisa's complete undoing. He sits at his desk, planning the next phase of his strategy. The evidence is solid, the alliance is shifting, and the path to revenge is clear. But as he delves deeper, he senses that there are more layers to this betrayal, secrets that even he hasn't uncovered yet. A new determination fuels him. Mark knows that to achieve his ultimate goal, he must uncover every hidden truth, expose every deception, and leave no stone unturned. The intrigue of the main plot thickens, hinting at deeper conspiracies and unforeseen challenges that lie ahead. As night falls, Mark prepares for what's to come, fully aware that his journey of betrayal and retribution is far from over. The web he's weaving is intricate and fragile, and maintaining control will require every ounce of his resolve. The path is dark, but Mark is unwavering, driven by a need to reclaim his life and expose the truth, no matter the cost. The rain pounds relentlessly against Mark's windows, a fitting backdrop to the storm raging within him. Weeks of meticulous planning have led to this moment, the culmination of his quest for revenge. Every sleepless night, every calculated move has brought him to the edge, where there is no turning back. Mark sits at his desk, the room dimly lit by a single lamp. His laptop is open, displaying the final pieces of his plan. He reviews the steps one last time, ensuring that nothing is left to chance. The evidence against Lisa is irrefutable, and the network he has dismantled leaves her isolated and vulnerable. But Mark knows that true closure requires more than just exposure, it demands a decisive end. His phone buzzes with a message from Jenna: "Everything is set for tonight. Meet me at the usual place." He replies with a simple "on my way," his fingers trembling with a mix of anticipation and fury. As he drives to the abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, memories of happier times with Lisa flash through his mind, before the betrayal, before the lies. The road is slick with rain, the headlights cutting through the darkness like a beacon of his resolve. The warehouse looms ahead, a silent witness to the final act of his vengeance. Inside, Jenna waits, her expression serious. "Are you sure about this, Mark?" she asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Mark nods, his eyes cold. It has to be done. She needs to understand the consequences of her actions. Jenna hesitates, then steps forward, handing him a file. "I've compiled everything, emails, financial records, photos. It's all there. She won't see it coming." Mark takes the file, his grip tightening. "Good. Let's make sure everyone sees the truth." They move through the warehouse, reaching a secluded corner where Lisa is already waiting. Her presence is unsettling, knowing she's unaware of the full extent of Mark's plan. She looks weary, her eyes searching for answers. "Mark? What's going on?" Mark steps forward, his voice steady but laced with venom. "It's over, Lisa. You destroyed everything." Lisa's confusion turns to fear as she notices the file in Mark's hand. "Mark, I can explain." But Mark cuts her off, his anger boiling over. "Explain? After everything you've done?" The affair, the embezzlement, the lies, you think I won't see through it all? He reveals the contents of the file, letting the evidence spill out. Lisa's facade crumbles as she realizes there's no escape. Mark, please. I never meant for it to go this far. Mark steps closer, his eyes burning with hatred. You took everything from me, trust, respect, our life together. Now it's my turn to take back what's mine. In a swift, calculated motion, Mark pulls out a small device, a remote-controlled smoke bomb. This is just the beginning, he whispers, pressing the button. The room fills with thick smoke, disorienting Lisa and Jenna. As they cough and choke, Mark ensures that the smoke bomb's timer is set, knowing that the chaos will cover his final move. Run, Lisa, he commands, his voice echoing through the haze. Make sure no one ever forgets what you've done. As the smoke thickens, Mark watches Lisa stumble, her desperation palpable. He feels a surge of satisfaction as she flees, her life spiraling into ruin. But there's no time to linger, his mission is far from complete. Emerging from the warehouse, Mark meets Jenna outside. Her face is pale, but her eyes hold a steely determination. It's done, she says quietly. She won't be able to rebuild from this. Feeling the weight of his actions settle heavily on his shoulders. We did what needed to be done. Now it's time to move on. But as they part ways, a nagging doubt begins to surface. The immediate revenge feels hollow, lacking the closure he sought. He realizes that his actions have changed him irrevocably, leaving behind a trail of destruction that mirrors the betrayal he endured. Days later, the news breaks out. Lisa's embezzlement is further scrutinized, her professional reputation in tatters. Friends and colleagues distance themselves, and legal actions accelerate. Mark watches the fallout with a sense of grim satisfaction, but the emptiness remains. One evening, as Mark sits alone in his new apartment, his phone rings. It's Alex, the colleague he had turned against Lisa. Mark, we need to talk, Alex says, his voice tense. Mark answers, his mind wary. What is it? There's something you need to know, Alex replies. It wasn't just Lisa. She had help from someone inside the company. Someone you trusted. Mark's heart races, a new layer of betrayal unfolding. What are you saying? I'm saying that Jenna knew all along. She was in on it with Lisa, using you to cover her own tracks. Mark feels the ground shift beneath him. Jenna, his ally in revenge, had deceived him from the start. The realization hits him like a physical blow, his trust had been his undoing. Fueled by a renewed sense of purpose, Mark confronts Jenna at their next meeting. You betrayed me, he accuses, his voice cold and controlled. Jenna's facade cracks, her eyes darting nervously. Mark, at their next meeting, interrupts, his anger palpable. You were using me to destroy Lisa while protecting your own interests. I trusted you, and you stabbed me in the back. Jenna tries to defend herself, but Mark is relentless. You and Lisa, partners in deception. It's time to end this. In a swift, ruthless move, Mark retrieves a hidden weapon from his coat and points it at Jenna. This is for all the lies and betrayals. Jenna raises her hands in surrender, fear etched on her face. Mark, please. Don't do this. But Mark's resolve is unshakable. No more trust, no more friends. You're part of the betrayal too. With a final, decisive action, Mark ends Jenna's complicity, ensuring that she cannot harm him any further. As her lifeless body lies on the cold floor, Mark feels a fleeting sense of closure. The cycle of betrayal and revenge has come full circle, leaving nothing but devastation in its wake. Standing amidst the wreckage of his actions, Mark realizes that his quest for vengeance has consumed him entirely. The hatred he harbored for betrayal has transformed him into the very thing he despised. The finality of his actions seals his fate, isolated, haunted, and forever marked by the path he chose. As dawn breaks, casting a pale light over the desolate warehouse, Mark walks away, leaving behind the ghosts of his past. The surprise twist of Jenna's betrayal was the last straw, pushing him beyond redemption. The story ends not with triumph, but with a man broken by his own need for retribution, forever separated from those he once called friends and the life he once knew. In the end, the web of deceit has ensnared them all, and the bitterness of betrayal ensures that Mark and his former companions part forever, their lives irrevocably changed by the shadows of their actions.